What's up, everybody? How you doing? I am here with Chat and Draw, another stellar episode, and I am Mike Watson coming to you from my studio in Columbus, Ohio, live and direct. What's Chat and Draw, you ask? That's no problem. I can answer that question. That's a show where I sit across the virtual table with another creator and we talk shop about comics, geekdom, and all that jazzy stuff while I draw one of their characters, or maybe a character they're a fan of. Who am I to be hosting this show? Well, I can also answer that question. I'm the publisher of Short Fuse Media Group, founder of Freestyle Comics, one half of the good, the bad, and the nerdy, the most enthusiastic person in comics, aka the Super Mad Brother, Mike Watson, your host today and every day on Chat and Draw. And thrilled to be back. We do our episodes on Monday and Thursdays with occasional side episode that we might do with a special theme or something like that. Today's episode is going to be a little bit different. We've done this before. We're going to create a character live for you with a fellow partner of mine who's been on here once or twice already or whatnot. But let's get the pleasantries out the way. I want to shout out Andrew Duncan, Haley Dennis, Bradley Arney, Tom Kelly, and Unlikely Hero Studios. Without them, I would not have a Patreon account. I'm actually going to get to your Patreon rewards and stuff today and get that stuff posted and rolling out. So big shout out to them and thank you all the way around. If you want to give me a follow on any of my social media, well, that's super easy because I learned this thing called branding, and there it is. Most epic art on all social media platforms: Instagram, Twitter, Patreon, TikTok, Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Go ahead and give a search for that, and I'll come right up. And you'll be able to find me and give me a follow if you happen to like these things, or just give a follow because I'm giving you all this awesome. And in the building right now, we want to give a shout out to our people that watch us on a regular basis. I got J-Man in the house. What's up, J-Man? How you doing, man? And Andy, Shaggy, Gordy in the building. Oh, it's Anna and Vincent. They're here today. How are you guys doing? It's good to have you on the show watching. I hope you enjoyed today. We're going to do a little thing called character creation. As I rock some characters, I had a part in the hand dealing in their creation. Heroes International. Where can you get Heroes International? That's a really good question. ShortFuseMediaGroup.com. Get all your comic books from Freestyle Comics and the Short Fuse family there. And when you buy the physical copies, you get the digital copies for free. I've been working on that plug. I think that's it. I think I got that one down slight. Like I slid that right in there. Like I'm sliding in the home plate, baby. Yeah. But hey, let's get to it without further ado. Let's get into our thing. And this is what I really love about doing on the show, because it's tradition.
Here comes a new challenger.
What's up? Oh, shoot, we can't hear you. What's up, Doomsmith?
On mute, my bad.
There you go.
Always
right.
Energy, man. Love it.
I'm trying to keep it up, man. I talk to you from time to time throughout the week, so I'm trying to keep my head above water, juggling it.
Right. That's how it's got to be, man. That's how it's got to be. I mean, we have our down times and our up times. I know for sure on social media, I've been on a downtime. I'm just like, I gotta relax, man. I gotta chill from it just a little bit, just to maintain my sanity. But yeah, man, I feel you.
Doomsmith in the building. What's up? Thank you, man. I'm glad you like that. I was hoping like people my age that are in the Street Fighter would like that.
Hey, man, I played those growing up.
Hey, man. So before we even get into it, I think it's awesome. So John and I have this book that we're slowly working on, and we've been building the pieces up on the Chat and Draw show. Or when I think it's awesome that today is another day that we get to go down that rabbit hole again with John and I, because the Invincible trailer premiered today. Word. The Amazon Prime Invincible trailer from Robert Kirkman, Cory Walker, Ryan Ottley, one of the greatest comic books of all time. Man, did you get to see that trailer, John?
I didn't watch the trailer yet, but here's the thing that's gonna hurt your soul. I never read Invincible. I've
Save
never
the
read
show.
Invincible. It's been on one of the books on my list for the longest time, and I just never got around to it. I've opened up the cover a couple of times, but I never actually dove all the way in. So yeah, I gotta make that. I mean, now that there's a freaking show, I guess I better hurry up and like binge read all of it, right?
John, it's all available. You need to get in trades, John. You can't be making comic books and not, well, you can't be dealing in superhero comic books and not have read Invincible. It's a game changer. I'm actually
That's what
going to
I've
start.
heard. I've heard it's like the best superhero story ever written. Like I've
It
heard all
is.
kinds of high praise. Yeah.
It is until the Hot Shot saga gets finished. But
Right, right.
but I absolutely. I'm actually going to start reading it again. I got to go get my comic books and organize them or whatnot. But I'm about to pull it out. It's that dope. I carry whenever I go places. I take my iPad and there's a certain amount of comic books I take with me.
Yeah.
The final issue of Invincible is one of the comic books I carry around with me.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, it's that dope. Doomsmith, man, I'm glad you like the art. That frame you got and the way you framed it up, that looked super sweet, man. I'm glad you shared that with me. Doomsmith bought a piece from me at my art sale, a piece I worked on with Ren McKenzie called Free for All, where we do Marvel characters versus DC characters.
Nice.
And he had a super long, because he got the layout and the full original piece, so he got a long frame and framed them both in one thing. It looked really cool.
Nice, nice.
All right, so let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. We've BS'd enough. We're making a brand new character. John, I'm gonna let you lead the way here in this discussion. Who are we drawing today?
Word. So if you guys were here last time, it was like 2 months ago, maybe 3.
Mm-hmm.
We made the first character of a story that we're working on called The Last of the Four. So I won't give the whole full rundown on what The Last of the Four is, but basically it's a book full of bounty hunters, and there are 4 main characters in this story, and each of these are the top bounty hunters in this world. And last time we drew the wind, Vanessa.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So
Yeah.
the next character this time, now to give a little bit of backstory, these characters are kind of like in a family dynamic. So Vanessa is the sister of the main character, Saeed. We haven't drawn Saeed yet, but this character that we're drawing now is actually the main character's wife. Her name is Soyoko, and her title, quite like the wind, they all have their own titles. Her title is the Jade Serpent. So I mean, honestly, like we've been going to work on the Pinterest page, you know what I mean? Like I mean, that's all I could do because I can't draw nothing. I just stare at inspirational images and then post them and show Mike. So yeah, I do the backstory writing and all that, and I get inspired by these images, and then I come up with stuff, and I'm just like, hey Mike, what would you think if it looked like this, or what if we added this, or so but this character has a very, like, the whole story to me has a very, it's like a post-apocalyptic kind of like hip-hop / cyberpunk like / Japanese-esque feel, you know what I mean? It's got like it's kind of like, the closest thing I could think of is like Samurai Champloo, but it's more cyberpunk than that, right? It's like it's like a mix, so yeah.
I think a little bit of Cannon Busters is kind of what we're going for. Cannon Busters,
right.
Emerald Quest in that same venue,
right?
Or vein, rather.
Because as like in a lot of things I write, running theme is it's almost like technology versus magic-ish. It's not quite 100% that, but like kind of like a vague. It's a vague theme in the story. You know what I mean? So you've got these people who are called the Saru. So our main 4 characters, they're called the Saru. They're more of the natural mystic type, right? They're all their abilities and powers come from like the earth, mystical magic called the Saji, right? But then there's like all these bounty hunters, these other bounty hunters in the story who get it's like manufactured powers, right? So they have powers too, but it's like man-made, you know what I mean? Stolen and engineered from the earth and whatnot. So yeah, that's what we're working with. I don't know. I think how do you feel about the board that we put up so far, Mike?
I have not. It's kind of like a show, AMC in the back. Yeah. You got it. I actually because so John updated our board today, and I didn't look at it because I wanted him to show it today live. Like so that's the challenge about these.
Man, you try to put an extra make it extra hard on yourself.
We that's how I want to make them outside of that add some more interest to is that
Right.
I draw them live
Mhm.
and designing them live. So like right now I'm just kind of working on a pose, but I have no idea. I mean, I have a sense of what the character was or whatnot, but we're actually going to design this whole thing from top to bottom.
Mhm.
Oh, Alyssa FSK Avenue family member right here saying that she likes the lore behind the story so far.
Oh, word. Yeah, appreciate that. I mean, it's been man, this story, like every time, because I like leap through stories and whatnot. Every time I come into this story, man, I get even more hype for it, man. It's just like the more time you have to build the lore behind something, or at least for me, the more excited I get about it. So yeah, it's hard to, like there's like a bunch of things swinging around in my head, and I know, it's like the story is not like I know like beginning, middle, and end stuff, right? It's like it's not like a story where it's kind of like, oh yeah, I kind of know the characters and I kind of know the world, but it's just gonna go on forever. It's not like that. It's like I know where it's going, and that makes me that much more excited for it because I know what happens at the end. I'm like, man, I gotta make sure I don't say like the wrong thing to give people to give
That's
people hints. But man, the journey, I think it's gonna be fun, man. Like like I was a huge fan of one of my favorite animes. Again, I mentioned Samurai Champloo, and God, I wish we could add like I mean, I guess there is ways to add music and stuff to the books. Um, you can get music composed or whatnot. But yeah, I think about the feel of Samurai Champloo, the music that's involved in it. I mean, when I'm doing my notes and stuff, I'm listening to Nujabes like nonstop, no doubt. Um, like a lot of hip hop, like real smooth hip hop instrumentals, some MF Doom stuff a little bit. It's kind of
mhm.
like playing like that's kind of the vibe. But I'm like I want to mix it with other kinds of culture. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, I'm digging it. I'm digging it. I kind of want to like. He said I can. I asked Mike earlier. I was like, "Hey, which character do you want to work on?" He was like, "Hey, that's on you." And so I kind of want to do. Um, I want to make Saeed the main character, like kind of the last character we do
Mhm.
of these four. And he'll be like because he's like this central. He is the main character, but I mean the focus is on all four of them. But he's kind of like the first person that like I guess yeah he's the main protagonist. Yeah, I guess we can
Well, let's take
definitively
a
say that.
let's take a look at the Pinterest page. Why don't you pull it up?
Gotcha. All right, so where's the screen share? Here we go. Application window. Blah,
I'll show
Chrome.
everybody where I'm at right now. So I'm just working on a pose right now. Again, so the thing is that I'm just coming in here trying to lay out something, and we may pull up this Pinterest page and look at what he has new, and
Word.
it may
Word.
change. I'm just trying to because it's got a lot of martial arts into it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, the book's very heavily martial arts inspired. Like I said, all these characters are like these characters are like the best of this world. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, earlier Jamin said Into the Badlands. This combat wise, maybe structure wise, different.
Hmm.
Like I believe Into the Badlands had like like the Barons, and then they had like the. I remember Sunny. What was Sunny called? He was called like a what was his title?
An enforcer.
He was an enforcer. Okay, so yeah, there was like barons, and then there was like enforcers, and and then there was like these different houses. I remember you had like the widow, and you had I can't remember all the other ones' names, but my boy who played the main baron, man, that dude was one. That dude was evil, but that was a good character though.
Yeah, well,
What was his name?
oh, don't ask me. The tradition
Yeah,
machos. I'm terrible with names.
yeah, I'm trying to remember that guy's name. It's oh man, I could see his face and his accent was like perfect. You know what I mean? But anyways, yeah, this story has a different structure. You know. So yeah, there was the Pinterest page. So as you can see, this character is very, very heavily. So she's Japanese. I mean, in the story, we're not in our world, so it's not like a Japan, but in inspiration and feel, she's Japanese. Um, so we
I'm
got the
already, I'm already nabbing stuff.
so the first thing, because like the top is kind of like the latest stuff we looked at, right? So the
Hmm.
first thing we looked at for the character, the very first thing that popped in my head was Akali from League of Legends. Now
Mm,
I'm
mm.
a I'm a crazy League of Legends fan, but
Oh, I love it. Yo, man, those character designs for League of Legends are bona fide truthful. I absolutely love them.
yeah, they're like they're like the tip top. Like when I think of like character design, I think for me the top two with character design that are my favorites right now is League of Legends and Blizzard's anything from Blizzard.
Now, see,
Um,
if you read Invincible, you'd be saying Corey Walker's designs for Invincible, because that boy, oh
True.
God, it's he's got such a it's an old school character design with a modern flair to it, and it's just so dope.
Word, word. I gotta check it out. I mean, I'm going to. Like I said, it's been on my list forever. It might get bumped up closer to the top. Since you know there's a show coming out, and you know me, like I'm always that guy. I'm like, I can't watch the show until I read the books. I've broken that rule a couple of times now. I broke it with the boys. I'm kind of glad some people told me it was probably a good idea to break that rule with the boys, and I broke that rule with well, I just watched before the boys. The Warrior Nun. Warrior Nun. I heard that comic was, you know, like the show was maybe better than the comic. I never read it, so I can't say.
That show, I'm not even gonna. That show's trash.
Oh, Warrior Nun, you didn't like it?
No, I was not a fan.
I liked Warrior Nun. It wasn't my favorite show, but I liked it. I liked it. Like I was shaky at the beginning. I was kind of like, I don't know if I like this feel. Then as I watched through it, I was like, okay, this is kind of dope. And then like after I see the setup, I think it's the characters that I like more than the actual plot and everything. I think I like the I like who is it Beatrice? I think that's one of the
The one that was completely dope and sweet and nice and deadly at the same time. The one that tried to keep everything together. That had ultimate patience. Believe that
right.
is Beatrice. She was incredible. She was the dope character in there. Um, and then I'm not going to go there.
No,
Pardon me,
I
gentlemen.
feel
I'll be
you. I
back in
feel
a
you. The
second. All right,
show
Cameron.
I will agree. The show was not the best show ever. I can see why. If people didn't like it, I can see why they didn't like it. It's not like I said, it's not my favorite, but I was pleasantly surprised. Let's put it that way. Because when I first started watching it, I was like, I don't know, but I kept on, and I was like, okay, this is better than this is okay.
I mean,
um,
everybody has their thing. I'm not knocking you for it. I was there in the beginning, and then it lost me the further it went on, and I was like, man, I just lost all kind of hope for it.
word. So yeah. So getting into this character again, Akali was the first thing I thought of, and it wasn't actually her main look. It was like if you remember what I talked about last time, tattoos are a big deal in this story. The characters, all the
Mm,
main characters, they're ancient people called the Saru, right? Well, they're humans, but it's a group called the Saru. And the Saru use what are called taluses, which are basically like magical tattoos on the skin, and each of them have different types. So she has more of the Japanese inspired style taluses. So I remember there was an image of Akali. This one's a little small, and it's not the one I was even thinking of. But I remember seeing the tattoos on her back, and that was one of the things that like heavily inspired. I was like, oh, okay, like this is kind of the feel that I'm going for with this character. You know what I mean?
hmm
And then one image that really stuck with me was this one. This was
Oh
this was
wow!
like this image right here was like, yo, like this is 100% up the alley of what I'm thinking for this character. Uh, so a little bit of info on her.
All
So
right,
Yoko, she's a so basically she's a hunter. She's a tamer and a hunter. She's like one with nature.
can you hold up? Can you
Yeah,
send me a
yeah.
screenshot of that picture and the first image that you showed?
Okay. Got you. So this one right
This,
here.
yeah, send me a screenshot of that one in the Facebook chat.
Okay.
Y'all literally about to like watch this happen. Like y'all about to watch this happen live. Like this is we're about to put this character together live, and now John has just lit a fire under me with this amazing image. So we're about to see what we can do. The first image that you showed us down at the bottom from the League of Legends,
Yep.
and there was one at the beginning. Oh, up top. Like hold up. This one right here, over, where she looks like she has some braids down here. It's on the right
Right
side all the way.
on the right side.
Yeah.
Over here. Right here?
Nope. Go over some more. The last one.
Right here? Right
Yep.
here? Right here.
Send me those real
With
quick.
the white hair?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, gotcha. That one, and then there was the Akali. And I was back. It's like, so as you can see, there's a lot of images. And this is the part where I have to defer to the greatness that is Mike Watson, because where I get stuck is I like these different styles and all the feels are right, but then there is the discussion of the showing of the tattoos versus the garbs that they're wearing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why the one with the back tattoo stuck out so well, because it was like she still had the stuff on, but you can still see the back tattoos. Like that's dope.
Yeah.
Like that's like perfect.
All right. So I think, I mean, unless there's some specific things you want to try to get in here, I think I'm good with these images, and we could talk on the character, and like we can tweak as go. I'm about to.
How do you feel? How do you feel about the hat? Because the hat that
Oh yeah, no, the hat's being included. I'm trying to figure out.
with me, dog.
I'm trying right now to figure out how to include the dang include her hair somehow with the hat, because I absolutely I love big bowed hair. Not necessarily that, like that's gonna be long, but I'm a fan of it. But I'm trying to figure out in my head right now how can I include her hair
Right.
into this hat. Oh my god! Because like that image with the back out is just thorough. It is just super thorough.
And remember what we talked about last time with these Saru? Remember we talked about their level and possibly using so you remember like we were talking about dreads before, and we were talking about possibly using the golden brackets that are usually put on dreads as a means to help depict rank within the Saru. Now, while it doesn't have to be exactly those golden brackets, something similar like that can still be incorporated. So she has like braids that are over her shoulders. You know what I mean? She can have those kind of brackets that are on the ends of her braids. You know what I mean? Or something that's similar. Something that, you know, of course, like small details like that will get solidified as we go. I mean, it doesn't have to be like picture perfect on the live thing, but that's just something to think about. Is what helps define their status within the Saru.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, yeah. So as he draws, I'll continue to talk about the character because I mean, it might help out too. So like I said, she's a hunter. So she's again her name is the Jade Serpent. She's a tamer and a hunter. Her primary companion of choice. I don't want to call them pets because they're more like companions than like pets, right? Is basically like a 10-foot long snake. So that's her homie. That's what she started. That's why she's called the Jade Serpent. And she had that snake like ever since she was a child. So in her backstory, this army called the Army Black, and I won't give more details about what the Army Black is yet, but there is an army called the Army Black. They attacked her town, and the snake was killed. It's like, oh, homie. But when she became a full-fledged Saru, and again, we'll get more details on the Saru as we do more of these and as we release more details on the story. She learned how to resummon the spirits of her dead companions. So the snake, the first one, is basically the first talus and companion that she was able to acquire. Um, so basically, what she's able to do is she's able to there's these beasts that roam the world. This is a little bit of backstory on roam the world.
Oh, I'm
Um,
liking that, Alyssa. I'm liking that.
there there's a in this world there's these creatures called the sageless, right? And the sageless are basically, you think of them like, I mean, like dragons, or anybody ever played Monster Hunter World, where they got
Yeah.
like all these great epic beasts and stuff like that, and elementals and crap like that. That's what the sageless are, and they're almost like the Earth's response to what's going on in the world. Again, more details on that in the future. But anyway, there's these beasts called the sageless. She hunts these sageless and then basically acquires them into her repertoire for her to summon later to use in battle. So that's why she's basically a hunter. Um, Primarily, I should probably say this early so Mike knows you may not have to use it right away, but primarily her weapon of choice is a bow, I would say, and arrows, but the arrows are her arrows are mystical, so it's a little bit different. She's got a on her right hand, kind of like the Avatar. If you ever seen Avatar last Airbender, on her right hand, she has an arrow, um, or something that's in the shape of an arrow, that basically goes down her arm. The best example I could use is like kind of like how Aang does. Only Aang doesn't have them. She doesn't have them all over her body like Aang. Aang has them on both arms and his head. She just has it on this one arm. Is one of her taluses. But when she pulls back her bow, that arrow manifests into an energy form for when she attacks whatever she's attacking at the time. So she never actually has to carry around like a quiver or anything like that. Just a bow, because her arrows are magic based. So
Yeah.
that's part of her power set. I'm liking how this is turning out so far. I could see Mike's mind just working.
Yeah, I mean, there's some dopeness here, man. There's some dopeness, and Alyssa and Andy are saying a couple cool things. Cameron says, "I dig it. Tell me where to get this dude, and I'm camping 30 minutes early at the comic store."
Word. Well, this one we were still talking about, but I think this one we're gonna do is like a web comic, right? Like release as a web comic primarily.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about doing.
Yeah. So like that's kind of like the first thought. I'm also thinking about, like, when I think about constructing the story and the scenes, I'm thinking about the format of a webcomic and how you release a page and then people got to wait to the next week or whatever amount of time for the next page, and how to keep people like excited on a per page basis. So I got like scenes, like, again, I know the broad story, and then I have scenes that are in my head, like, all right, this is going to happen on this page, and it's going to make people wonder, dang, I gotta see it. It's like a every page, like at least the way I'm thinking of it in my head. It's like an every page cliffhanger. Which, by the way, is I believe Brian Michael Bendis. I think that was a recommendation in his book on writing comics. Is to try to keep every page a cliffhanger, But it applies that much more when we're thinking of webcomics, because people got to wait every however long it takes per page. So yeah, I think that applies. Okay, I see the way stuff going on there. I don't want to misname it.
Yeah, I don't know the
The
name
way,
of
I'll just
it
say the
either.
waist accessories. Oh man, I also was thinking a lot about. I don't know if that's what you're going for, but this, like, in my thought processes and looking at this and the references that we had, I was thinking a lot about like Akuma, and I reference this a lot because I'm a Street Fighter fan. That's another thing I reference character designs from a lot of Street Fighter. But I think about Akuma as how he's got like the prayer beads.
Mhm.
Akuma and Goken, and from Street Fighter 4.
Yeah.
He's got I think Goken has like around his chest going diagonal. He's got the prayer beads, and then so does Akuma has a couple. He has a prayer beads around his neck, and then he also has the rope tie that ties like the knot tie that sits on the back end. And I
Mhm.
can't remember. I did a little bit of research on that, but I can't remember the full backstory on that look. But I also remember that it was hard to find information on it too. I remember when I was researching it, it wasn't like readily available. You know what I
Mm.
mean? It
Okay.
was like you had to do some digging to find info on. I have to revisit. But I mean, I love the look though. My God, like
Ha.
so so yeah, she's got a few like we're still deciding um as far as backstory wise the exactly the kind of beast or creatures or sageless that she has. Because initially I just had them as mystical version, and they kind of are mystical versions of animals that we're aware of, like panthers, and there's a snake, and I know for sure one of them is a dragon. I initially had the idea of her representation of her dragon being like dragon wings on her back, but I'm
Mhm.
not, like that's still. I mean, again, that's part of the design process. It's not like in stone; it doesn't have to be like that. But the dragon is um, going to be a part of the story that is important. So either a dragon. I was thinking like a leviathan, a wolf. But as we go through this more, I'm like, okay, what other I'm thinking of like Final Fantasy style creatures and stuff, right? Like, what other kind of creatures can we apply to this? So that's part of the like when I get stuck in story stuff, it's not really on the main story that I get stuck on. It's all the details that surround it. You know. Let me see. I see some questions in here. Is there anyone from the past that was before that have manifested the powers like ancient elders? Oh yeah. So let's talk about the Saru real quick in response to J Man's question about the ancient elder thing. So the Saru rely very heavily on what is called the song of Sona. And the song of Sona, it's like it's music. It's like a song that only that particular Saru can hear. And I know this is not like an anime, but in my head, I'm like, music's a super like very incorporated into the story. Um, but anyways, the song of Sona is like it's like a song that a particular person hears, but that song that they hear is actually the voice of past the spiritual voices of the past Saru who uh who basically I'll say established the powers, established the abilities that the Saru has. So there are ancients. There's a spirit of the earth, the sky, sun, moon, the beast, and the waters. Right. So these are the people who basically protected the earth, which is called Jin, by the way. The world,
Mhm.
the name of the world is Jin. But Saru actually translates in the Jin in the ancient Jin culture to shepherd. So these were the people who basically protected the flock that is like the world. So the people of the world back in ancient times. So yeah, there is kind of like an elder ancient factor to it. Our current characters are like they're the current best, but they're not like the best, like the best of the OGs, you
All right. All right.
know. Let me see. I saw another question in there. Um, Realms. I had a character named Da Ninja Ginkgo. I used that in my persona to help my thought process. Okay. So basically, okay. A character named the Ninja Ginkgo. Got it. Yeah, I mean, like usually, I usually when it comes to character creation, there's usually an archetype that I'm working from. Like usually something or somebody inspires it, whether it's a real person or a character from something else. Um, and they inspire like a base. It doesn't inspire their entire ideology, but it inspires like a base, like skeleton version of who these characters are. And then I write in their ideologies and all that stuff after. But a lot of it comes from their culture and where they come from. So the culture piece and the culture aspect, it very heavily plays into it. Even though these characters are not on Earth, it's a whole different world. Blah blah blah. Like it feels like so Japanese culture. Like I've been doing hella like research and studies on Japanese culture for this character, for example, because it influences the story as a whole, but also influences her ideology on the world and like this big corporation called Industry Black, which relates to the Army Black that I mentioned earlier. That has kind of more or less, I guess in our terms would be westernized the world. It's not, I won't say it's necessarily northeast, west, or whatever in that world, but but the way that we know it, it's like they have westernized, industrialized the world almost for the worse in some ways. If you think about the way that they use the energy, like they kind of hollow out the earth and dig up all the magical Saji, and engineer it into something that they could basically profit off of, versus the ancient ways of the world were not like that, of course. But you know how people do is technology increases, and people are like, how can I make money off of this? So that's basically what happened in this story. Gerald said, what does scarets mean? Oh
What's
man,
up, Danny J. Quick in the building?
what's up, Danny? Scarets. I got a story for that. So so Scarets is like my online name for everything. My nickname is Scooter. If you ever see me on Facebook, it says Scooter because that's like my regular forever nickname. Scarets is kind of a derivative of that, and it came because I went on this mission trip back when I was like 13 years old. I went for 3 months over to Panama. Crazy inspirational trip. It was like a Christian mission trip. Got to meet all these people from South American culture. It was why we went to these villages and helped out and stuff like that. But anyways, when I first got to the first village, believe it or not, the group that I went with, I was like the only black person with the group, right? So of course, they kind of saw me as, oh yeah, you're like the rapper type. I know it was like stereotyping, blah blah. So they were like, I was like the black rapper / DJ kind of person in the group, and I guess at the time I didn't notice it like as offensive. I think I would have thought of it more offensive like now. Like, but at the time I didn't really think of it as that offensive. I was just like, oh, I'm the cool black guy around all the white people. They're like, oh yeah, rap and stuff like that. So I sucked, but I would like fake rap and stuff back then. But they're like, oh, it's cool, So but they made a like they always made the guys that were with me, like part of the mission group with me, they made DJ noises all the time, right? But when I got to Panama, the locals, like who speak nothing but Spanish or whatever, when the other folks in my group were making the DJ noises, they like enhanced the DJ noises to where it sounded like scare it. So that's where like the scarets part came from. So they like the locals legit just started calling me scarets. Like like they didn't even like, yeah, they didn't, that was just my name, was Scarets. So that name pretty much stuck forever, and that's how that's how I got the online name Scarets. I don't DJ at all. I did go through a rapping phase. I still every once in a while drop a little video or something like that, but I don't really seriously rap anymore. And I wasn't even that good when I was. But yeah, that's how I got the name Scarets. J-Man, he lived in Japan for 3.5 years. That's dope. I need to ask you some questions, dog. Just going through the questions here in the chat.
Oh no, you're fine because I'm absolutely super focused on trying to knock this out, man.
Oh, you're good. You're good. J-Man said the story says deep with detail like Lord of the Rings. I don't know if it's as deep as Lord of the Rings, but Lord of the Rings be deep. But yeah, I mean, I am very lore heavy. Like I do a lot of like, what do you call it? Like iceberg stuff. I call it iceberg stuff. Like, the what do you call it? The tip of the iceberg is above the water or whatever, and then there's like all this foundation beneath it. I do a lot of that. Um, I make story Bibles. They're not very detailed initially, or I'm sorry, I take that back. They are detailed. They're not very what's the word I'm looking for? They're not user friendly organized. like I couldn't just go and grab all my notes up and put them in a book and say, here you go. I would have to like go and curate them. But that is like a plan. Like my plan is like, as these stories get older and as they get bigger and as I release more content for them, is to go back and kind of like, with Lord of the Rings. I guess just mention Lord of the Rings, like not as detailed as like the similar how do you pronounce that? Similarian?
Similarity.
Similarian, the book from Lord of the Rings that that has like all the lore.
Oh yeah, I don't. I'm a Lord of the Rings fan, but I'm not that deep into it. I just love the movies.
Word. Yeah, I think it's called the Similarian.
Like I tried to read the books and I couldn't get past the first chapter, so
Bro,
I stuck with Peter Jackson.
the first chapter is not even a chapter, dog. Like the first chapter of Lord of the Rings is about hobbits. What is it called? What is that chapter called? It's called oh man, what's the title? It's like I can't remember the title, but it's this whole like foreword that's all about just what hobbits are like, and it's freaking hilarious. I mean, it does give context, but it's ridiculous. It's way over the top detail to have in the main book. Above, somebody said, do you have god generals? No. I don't know what that sounds cool, but no. This story does not have god generals. I mean, now that you said it, I don't even know what a god general is, but I'm just like, that sounds kind of dope.
Right.
But no, there's not. That's not that's not really the structure of the magic system. I don't want to give away too much of the story itself, but I'll just say it's not the structure of the magic system. The way the magic system works is very not cosmic. There is the magic is not a cosmic level magic. And when I say cosmic, I mean like a deity that we that's far like up in heaven or something like that, or some other realm. It's not quite like that. It's the magic system is built differently. But dang, I might need to write the word God General down and save it for something. That sounds dope. Yeah, R.I.P. Van Halen. R.I.P. Van Halen. Do J-Man says the characters have weaknesses? Always. That's my biggest thing as far as so what's his why am I blanking on his name? Mistborn. Brandon Sanderson. Brandon Sanderson is he's like the godfather of the magic system or something. I mean, people did they did him beforehand, but he like defined a technical layout of what a magic system looks like, and he makes some of the best magic systems that I've ever freaking seen. My magic systems aren't to that level yet, but I am working towards it because I keep him in mind as a conscious inspiration to get to that level. But in any case, yeah, there are weaknesses. So, for example, one of the weaknesses for all of these characters, for the Saru, I talked about it a little bit in our last write up or not write up, our last John talk. I'm gonna go in here and find the notes for it too, so I make sure that I properly explain this.
We are 46 minutes in, and I'm almost done with this design. We are not running it back, Danny J. Quick.
We said we're not doing what?
Danny J. Quick said, "Hey, I'm sorry I'm late. Why don't y'all run that back from the top for me?"
Run it back from the top. Heck no.
Dude, decisions are being made right now on this character.
Right. And I've been looking at the notes in the design. I purposely haven't looked at the art thing yet. I'm gonna pop back over and look what he's doing in a second. But okay, so weaknesses real quick. So the characters, Lisaru, in order to activate the Talysis. So to explain the Talysis again, a Talysis is a tattoo that allows Lisaru to summon spells or other magical effects. A Talus only works for pure Saji users. Saji is the magic that is in our. It's basically magic. Um, Talysis can only be activated by Shuska. All right. Now Shuska, as I explained in the last chat, is a clay-like mixture of Saji, blood, the blood of the user, and other raw materials. All right. So it's like a clay mixture that they keep in a pouch on their side, either on their side or on their person somewhere where it's easily accessible. And they use it to lift the taluses from their skin. So they usually have the shushka on their fingertips. So yeah, it's every batch is unique and it's only usable by that user. And it's most commonly used by the welder, basically dipping their fingers into the pouch and then usually running it across the tattoo of choice or near the tattoo of choice to activate the power or ability. So with Saeed, the main character that we haven't introduced yet, for example, he may run like he has like one of his taluses are on his arm. These blades that are it's like there's like 4 blades on his arm, like bitty blades. So he'd like run them down, like run his fingers down his arm with the shushka on it to activate the blade, and then it becomes like a physical corporeal thing. You know what I mean? So he like brings it from the realm that it resides in into his realm, and then he can use it to attack. Blah blah. So long story short, one very prevalent weakness is if somebody were able to knock their shuska from them or get it from them when they're in the middle of a fight or before they can use it, then they're basically, I mean, don't get me wrong, they're like beast hand-to-hand combatants too, but their powers would be inaccessible without the shushka. So that's an example of a weakness. But yeah, each of them they also specialize in different things. Saeed is not the best in hand-to-hand. He's pretty decent. I mean, he can beat most people. But if he's talking about him fighting other people with powers without his weapons, then he's at a severe disadvantage. I don't know if you would call this a weakness, but the Wind doesn't use weapons at all. She's just a beast with hand-to-hand combat. Damn, what is her weakness? She's just a beast all the way around. No, but no, she has to. She's like Rock Lee in Naruto. So she has to deal with the fact that she doesn't have any other weapons or powers to draw from other than powers that enhance her physical form. So her strength and speed primarily is her main thing. That's why she's called the Wind. That's basically how she gets around. I won't mention Soko yet because he's going to be the next character that we talk about. He or she. We haven't decided whether it's going to be a guy or a gal or non-binary. Soko is just kind of still in that design phase. You know what I mean? But the current character we're working on, Jade Serpent, her hand-to-hand isn't like her close combat isn't as beast because she relies on her beast and her arrows. So she's like a master at range, but her close combat wouldn't be quite up to par. But yeah, in any case, all of them need the Shushka in order to use their powers.
Right. Well, thanks, J-Man, and thanks, Danny. I'm really trying not to sexualize the character. Really just making her, because I had her a bit luscious in the first sketch, but the more that we talked this down, I figured her body wouldn't be as voluptuously shaped. So I'm going for more of a smaller shape on her body. I feel like she worked.
And I feel like when it comes to art and sexualization, I feel like it's the way a character is drawn more than I feel like a character can have like shape and form and all those features and whatnot, and still be drawn in a non-sexualized way. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. But I feel like her body type wouldn't be like that, like because of how she works, where she works out, how she fights and trains and stuff. I feel like she needs to be small almost
Mhm,
stringy. Her clothes are real baggy.
mhm.
Um,
She's hopping through trees and whatnot.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
She's
yeah,
a hunter. Yeah, I dig that style. I'm looking at the image right now. That hat is the truth.
yeah.
You gotta do the hat, man. Like, and then still have the kind of the tattoos and stuff on the side. You know, I dig that. And I like the roped belt thing that's going on. And you can also see on the waist, you can kind of see where she might hold her shushka right there. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, she's got the long hairs going to the back.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's dope. That is dope.
I just see her being very stoic.
Mhm.
Like,
She's one of those characters who's well, all the characters are pretty compassionate. Well, except for Soko's kind of removed from society for reasons. He's the younger one.
mm,
He or she uh they are a little removed from society. Uh there's story reasons for that. So they're a little less compassionate. Say gosh, I'm mispronouncing our own characters' names. Sayoko actually she's quiet, reserved, but extremely compassionate. She's like that quiet. She's like the kind of person who will save you and then not say anything, and then like just like dip like in the wind. Like
mhm.
just she's like that kind of character. Whereas the wind, she's the kind of character who will seem like kind of mean or brash or whatever. In the heat of a moment, but like if you ever talk to her in a calm moment, then you're like, oh, she's cool. Like, all right. But usually she's fighting people, so there's not really usually she's fending off large attacks. Uh one of the big things about these characters, to give a little bit more insight in the world. So they're the top four bounty hunters in the world. Another aspect of this world is that the industry black, run by Kane Black, um, one of his commodities are channels, and he gets these channels that follow these people who have bounties on their head. Now, all four of these characters have the biggest bounties on their head in the world by far. Nobody's even close because they're the best. Everybody wants to beat them and become the best. Blah blah. Not to mention the payout is basically make anybody instant millionaire, right?
Right.
Um, so these characters have kind of like these uh these I had named it at one point, but I'm probably gonna rename them. They were initially named iDroids, but I'm gonna rename them something else. Those sound too close to real world stuff and Star Warsy, so I'm gonna rename it to something else. I know droid isn't technically like, I guess, copyrighted by Star Wars, but I still want to use something else. In any case, it's like these cameras that follow these people around, and they create channels that people can pay to own these channels and basically watch these people move through life. So for example, if somebody's paying for the very expensive Saeed channel or the very expensive Jade Serpent channel, they can see whenever somebody attacks them. And because they're so skilled and the people who are attacking them are probably skilled, it's like they're paying to watch this very high quality entertainment. You know what I mean? So I say all of that to say that they kind of have a following. So there's always people. They're always on their toes. There's always people coming after them. Always people trying to kill them. And these four by far are the ones that they barely get to sleep. You know what I mean? It's almost like they got to sleep with one eye open, because at any point in time, somebody could, there's somebody trying to collect their bounty on them. Andy said Mike does like to draw the lady sexy.
I do. I do. If we're at
Character.
my art sale, you would. I have a lot of them.
And I don't think there's anything wrong. I think there's a difference between sexy and sexualized. You know what I mean? There's a whole
Yeah,
conversation behind that.
like I think like obviously there's a time and place for it, but like every character doesn't have to have it, um
Right.
and for all we know, underneath this body, she could have a very fit, very shapely figure or whatnot. But
Hmm.
her clothes, I think her uniform and her swag, the way she carries herself is
Hmm.
as a warrior is more important than
Right.
that. And I mean, I could be getting it mixed up or explaining it wrong.
No, no, you're right. No, you're right. She's kind of like of all of the people, she's the most. She would be the most. What's the word I'm looking for? Not reserved, but elusive. She would be the most like she always has the hat on, right?
Hmm.
She's always she looks like majesty, like majestic. You know what I mean? Not to mention, she's the one that the cameras lose the most often because she's always in the woods. You know what I mean? She's always in the jungle, in the rainforest, the woods. She's always in nature, and the droids or whatever we decide to call them at the end of the day, they're the ones that lose her contact of her most often. So sometimes like their channel will be chasing her and she'll be off going to hunt something, and by the time the thing catches up with her, she's already killed the thing, and they miss the kill. You know, they miss the thing that she was hunting. You know,
Hmm.
so it's like she's like that kind of elusive character. So people who would follow her channel, for example, would be the people who are all up in the mystery and just want to get every glimpse of everything she does. You know, whereas Saeed, he lives a more boring life. Well, at least uh comparatively to her, where he just like hangs out in bars and chills and doesn't want to be bothered. People are scared to attack him, you know. And then when people do attack him, that's like the one moment that people get get their that's then they get their money worth. But yeah, pay-per-view fight meets the Truman Show. Yeah, I guess sort of like Truman Show. I mean, they know they're being followed. I mean, they know there's cameras on. They can't do anything about them. Well, at least as far as we know, they can't do anything about them.
Right, 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 right.
That's a story element right there. But yeah, I mean, the cameras are a big part of the story. It's a it's kind of what helps build the world that they live in, the world that they're kind of oppression is a big deal in this story too. There is a level of oppression that that this big corporation has on the world. Um, and one of the ways that they're able to oppress is like everything always on, especially to the most high level of people. You know, there's like your privacy is minimal. There's these drones flying around everywhere. Like, what can you do? You can't. I mean, what are you gonna do about it? You know, when he is the government, how do you say, oh, you can't do that? You know what I mean? Like, you're just kind of stuck with it. It's kind of like got to deal with it. So.
Right, right, right.
Cameron said, "Country girls, I think, no matter where you at." I guess
Oh,
it's
Running
true.
Warriors was dope, man. Yeah, I did like Running Warriors. I watched that every day before I went to school. That was my little part of my little routine.
Was that on Netflix?
It might be now, but it was on regular TV. That came out a little while ago. Like that was when I was in high school.
Oh,
That's when we were just getting bit by the anime bug.
okay. I don't remember that one.
It was like Voltron without the lions. It was five warriors. They were samurais. They each were a different color. They each had a specific weapon. Their samurai suits had a super mode or whatnot, and like the world was
Oh,
like
shoot.
engrossed with demons, and they were fighting them.
So now I'm about to look this up. You said Ronin Warrior?
Yeah,
I'm gonna look this up now. Oh, I see it right already. Japanese animated series. Oh, snap. Oh, I've seen this before.
yeah, no,
I've seen this before. I didn't realize what it was called. That character on the left looks like old boy from Korra. What is his
Bolin,
name?
Mako.
Bolin. Yeah, there we go. It looks like Bolin. The dude with the red on looks like Bolin. Or the dude, well, I guess it's orange, kind of oranges. I take Bolin, man. I think I feel like they kind of give Bolin a bad rap a little bit in that show.
You
Just a
think
little
so?
bit.
I think
Just
Bolin's
a little
dope in
bit.
the show.
No, he's dope. No, he's dope. I mean the way I mean the way some characters treat. I don't know. He's like he's just kind of the goofball, which is I mean I guess that's cool, but you know, like I think some of the times he isn't taking it seriously, but he's kind of I mean, but he is a beast. Like Earthbending ain't no joke.
Absolute. Like Bolin powered up in that bad boy.
This is true. This is true. Yeah, Korra, man. I think the show. Like, I don't get people that write Korra off as kind of it's not really that great. I get they're comparing it to Aang, Avatar, Last
Hmm.
Airbender, but I mean the show was still excellent, man. I don't know what they talking about.
The show is complete fire, man. Like I have my issues with it, and but I
Yeah,
love Korra, and my issues are
yeah.
very simple. There be times when character Korra goes through these huge character development moments, and
Mhm.
she'd apologize for what she did. She'd understand what she did was wrong, and then 2 episodes she'd do the same exact shit.
Yep.
2 episodes where she would do the same. Like I get like. I know characters should not be perfect and they should make mistakes, but
Right.
damn, she shouldn't make the same mistake where she just had 5 episodes and discovered the error of her ways. She shouldn't make the same mistake 2 episodes later. That was my
Word.
only
That's
issue
true.
with it. But I love Korra. Like I need another season of it.
That's true. That's true. I think one of the major issues I had, at least in the first season or not the first season mainly, was we talked earlier about magic systems. I'm really big on magic systems and them being right. I'm big on them on adhering to the rules and being creative within the rules. Naruto does that very very well. At least I mean, and they start to break rules a lot, but like for the majority of Naruto, they do that very well, and that's what makes the show so appealing, in my opinion, is the fact
Hmm.
that people have these different set of skills, different powers, whatever, and then they're creative within the skills and powers that they have to do something epic. In Korra, my problem was with in the first season at least was with what they did with bloodbending.
Hmm.
They broke the major rule of bloodbending, and then didn't even explain why they were able to break it. They just broke it, and I was just like, "Oh, that hurt me." Like that,
Hmm.
like that. It just kind of like because at first the main that first what was his name? Like I'm bad with names. Um,
Amon.
Amon, there you go. So at first Amon was really really intriguing. He was decent. He was really really intriguing, but the secret to his power was just so it was a letdown, and it was a letdown because they broke the rules of bloodbending.
And you got to look at it this way. Amon was just LeBron James, man. You just mad at LeBron James. He's just a super naturally talented dude who had the ability to break that rule because he
Mm,
was just born so talented. He just had natural gifts that allowed him
yeah.
to do that.
Well, but here's the other thing: multiple people broke the rule. That was the other problem because his brother did Telos. What's his name? I'm so bad with names. His brother though, he broke the rule too, and I was just kind of like, oh, so the whole I get it. Their dad did it, so they got it. It came down and the blood. I was just kind of like, okay. Okay. I don't know. Again, that's just a personal gripe because magic systems. I'm big on like fight within the rules of your magic system. You know what I mean? If you break a major rule, I need an explanation. Like, tell me why you were able to break this rule, and if you explain it well, then I'm fine with that. You know what I mean? If when Guy Sensei and Naruto when he did the eighth gate, and you knew that he was gonna die after he did when he opened the eighth gate and he was like beast mode and like and throwing what's it Madara around. I was
Hmm.
like, oh, this is it, dog. Like this is like, like this is like the aviation, but you knew he was gonna die. When he didn't die, at first I was kind of like initially I was like, they're not gonna kill Guy right here, are they? Or but when like the fact that something else came to like I think Naruto healed him. The fact that Naruto came over and healed him, I was like, okay, I'm okay with that because they explained that power beforehand. But if he just like somehow mystically didn't die because he's Guy Sensei and he's the best, then I'm just like, you know what I mean? Like I need a good explanation for stuff that I don't mind crazy stuff happening as long as there's an explanation for it. You know.
I hear you. I hear you.
So I'm digging. I'm digging this hair. I'm digging the top and the She is definitely going to have the feel of that of like that kind of like that elusive, you don't know anything about her character. I think we might need to change her name to the Jade Shadow.
Maybe. No, I have not heard. I have not seen Violence Jack.
Violence Jack? What's that?
I
Never
don't
heard
know.
that.
That's new to me.
Yeah. And he said he had to check out. Best part about Cora is the announcer for All Pro. That announcer is pretty epic. I'm not gonna lie.
Wasn't there? I think there was an episode where he announced he was announcing one of the final fights.
Oh man, yeah. That announcer was pretty epic. I'm not gonna lie. It's really like in both of the shows, in both of the not Naruto, in both of the avatars, it's the small details that really bring it all together because the magic system in the world, it's so well done. It's very simple, but very well done. But it's it's like the character relationships and the tiny little quirks they throw in the show that make you love it, man. That's
Oh yeah,
that's the stuff that
Avatar.
matters.
Look, man. What you got? You got Avatar. You got Korra. You got Justice League Unlimited. You got Batman animated series.
Mhm.
And then Invincible when it dropped, like greatest Western cartoons of all time.
Is Samurai Jack? Is that Western? That's
Oh
Western.
yeah, it is.
I would count Samurai Jack among them. I like Samurai Jack.
I mean, he can get in where he fits in. I only gave a top 5.
True. Yeah, Justice League Unlimited. I mean,
Is that what he's talking about? Is he talking about Samurai Jack?
Oh, maybe he is.
Because then, yes, the answer to that is yes. I've seen Samurai Jack.
Yeah, Samurai Jack that's my joint.
Yeah, and then the Clone Wars season 1 and 2, the animated joints, the true Star Wars cartoon.
Yep. I keep telling people, man, the Clone Wars series is what saved Star Wars. I mean, there's several things that save Star Wars at different points in time, but the Clone Wars series, because you got to think about it, how all the people that were mad about, the prequels or whatever, this, that, and the third. But the Clone Wars series, it brought all that lore together, man.
Oh, hold up. Which one are you talking about? I'm talking about the one that was done and animated by the people of Samurai Jack.
Oh, that one. Yeah, no, that was good too. No. Yeah, that was epic too. I like both of them. I think the whole Clone Wars animated, like 3D and 2D all together was an excellently done on Star Wars' part. I mean, we got to see the Jedi just being Jedi. You know what I mean? Not to mention that the 2D animated joint where Mace was just overpowered. Like that man was just taking out entire droid armies like it was nothing.
Yeah, I don't think he was overpowered at all. That's how a Jedi's supposed to be.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's why they got rid of it. Because when a man can do that without his lightsaber, it's like, how do you kill him by falling out of a building?
Right, exactly. Yeah, and I still think they can still, in my opinion, if they want to, they can still write Mace out of that. They still have the opportunity to do that because in the same movie, or I'm sorry, the movie prior, you see Anakin jump out of a moving speeder.
Yeah.
It just hop from speeder to try to catch somebody. And it's kind of like, all right, man, I can definitely see him getting thrown out of the window and as he's falling, getting his bearings and finding something to force pull himself to. He's not just a Jedi. He was the best, second only to Yoda, dog. Like, come on.
Hey, I absolutely agree. But then it's like, if Mace Windu lives, why doesn't he kill Anakin? Because Anakin's not beating Mace Windu. That was the thing I thought was cool, was that the Jedi had like the things that they were really good at. And like Anakin ain't beating Mace Windu in a lightsaber fight.
Nope.
Anakin's not beating Yoda with the Force because Yoda knows more about the Force, even though Anakin's more powerful in the Force. But Mace Windu is the best lightsaber fighter in all of the Jedi.
Oh yeah, both at that point in time where he was at right then and there, both Mace and Yoda would have bodied Anakin. that man would have had zero chance. I mean, shoot, that's what establishes Obi-Wan is one of the best, because Obi-Wan, he is very, very skilled at lightsaber combat and very, very skilled at the Force, but he is not the top at either one of those. He is just, I think he's the best strategist and the best Jedi as far as what it means to be a Jedi, like listening to the statutes, the way a Jedi is supposed to fight, knowing like your basics. Anakin was like he like broke the rules. He was like epic and do things above and beyond, and that's why when old boy had the high ground, Anakin was like, "Oh, I got it," and Obi-Wan's like, "No, this is like basic 101, dog. You don't got it." Like,
That's what I'm saying. I bring by my reference, man. Anakin was Jordan, and Ray was LeBron James.
Ray was LeBron James. Oh man, I love it.
Hey, that's why, and plus we as men have had the so-called Mary Sue character for over 70 years in cinema. So shut that shit up. I'm perfectly fine.
Oh yeah,
I don't need an explanation. Like, I can just assume, oh, she's just that dope. She's got natural skill. Let's ride. Because everybody was fine with Luke Skywalker. With no training, coming out here walking around like he's the Jedi pimp and just with two fingers. Ain't nobody complained about that. Nobody asked where did he train or nothing. Ain't asked no questions. But let a female get a light stick and she's mangling everybody, and now it's a problem all of a sudden.
Not everybody mad. That's what I'm like. Your very own favorite character, fanboys, Luke, does the same thing. Like, and he had less, like, at least Rey was like raised in a place where she had to fend for herself and learn how to fight.
That's what I was saying. And she was fighting for her life every day. Luke, I'm gonna hit you with what's my boy name? Zod on Man of Steel. Where'd you learn how to train, Luke? A farm?
A farm. Right. Like Luke, I mean, he blew up the Death Star like it was nothing. He was like, "Oh yeah, I blew up the Death Star because I shot I was shooting man, bro, my brain is blanking on everything.
Dude, I don't remember what it is, but it's stupid. Whatever the hell the name of it is stupid.
Womprax.
Yeah, I was like, how the hell does that justify? Like, when they showed Luke in the speeder going across, I was like, so are y'all going to show me what this man can drive that justifies him being able to get one of those expensive ass Starflight ships and being trusted to fly without dying?
Yeah, when he's General Luke Skywalker from the jump, and he just hops inside of that. He just hops inside of the X-wing like it's nothing. Never flew an X-wing before, but all his buddies who have been training inside of X-wing dying left and right. But here's Luke, first time in the X-wing, beginner's luck, I guess. I mean, I get it. He had the Force. You know what I mean? I get it. He's supposed to be a natural or whatever. I get it. But if he's the natural, and then so is Rey. Let Rey be a natural.
That's my thing. If Luke gets to be a natural and do all this stuff, so does Rey.
Right. Oh man, those online conversations are freaking crazy, dog.
And it makes me so mad too, man, because I really like Rey. I really like Kylo. I really like Finn. I wish Finn needed way more limelight. Hence you writing your story. Oh shoot, butter biscuits. Oh yeah,
butter biscuits. Oh snap! Give me some of them. Butter biscuits. Man, you took her to Red Lobster with the cheddar biscuits? You can't take her to Red Lobster with the cheddar biscuits, Granddad. But no.
This is all. I don't know, man. I enjoyed the Star Wars movies. Yep, they work. They're not perfect. They could be better, but they still had a lot of good things going for them.
The new ones had great things going for them. I think 9 hurts my feelings the most. And it's not because the movie itself is bad. I just wish that it like made more sense with the other movies that were, 7 and 8. Like it was kind of like 9 just came in being its own thing. I'm kind of like, wait, there were 2 movies before this though. That's how I felt like. That's what I felt like with 9.
Oh no, I absolutely agree. I actually like 8 the best.
Oh yeah, 8's my favorite. Yeah, and out of the new ones. Out of the new ones, eight's my favorite.
And
Um,
because that makes me mad that when people say Ryan Johnson isn't thank you, Alyssa, isn't a Star Wars fan, and I'm like, did you not watch the entirety of that film?
what?
He is a complete Star Wars fan. Like you may not agree with them choices because Luke is your favorite person ever, but like all of that makes sense. The Skywalkers
Bruh,
suck.
he went deeper into the lore of the Jedi than anything in any of the movies. The next closest thing that went that deep into the Jedi lore, as far as the movies, because the Clone Wars did the lore the best as far as TV.
Mhm.
The books and the comics they go the deepest, of course. But as far as like on screen, the Clone Wars did it best. But if you're talking about just the movies, I get it. I mean, you should have to watch all the extra stuff. If you're only watching the movies, 8 by far goes the deepest into like actual Jedi lore and like the Force, who the Jedi were supposed to be. And then maybe other than that, probably, even though it's not the best movie, probably the worst of the Star Wars movies, Episode 2. And I always say that because Episode 2 references Brian Cypher Diaz in the stuff that Cypher Diaz dealt with, as well as I guess it's several things. It's several things. It's you get Obi-Wan in his kind of in his prime.
Mhm.
You get the story of Cypher Diaz. You get backstory about the Sith. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Actually, you get that in 2 and 3. So yeah, there's a lot of like Jedi lore and stuff there. When it comes to like the originals, you get your basics with Obi-Wan teaching Luke. You get your, you get Yoda and Luke in the cave. You know what I mean? So you do get the lore there. But like to revisit that in 8, I felt like that's what more like all the I felt like 7 hinted at it with what's her face? Maz Kanata. There we go. I
Uh-huh.
got it. Like she talked about the lore a little bit. She just like gave us like a little hint, like oh yeah, I know about force sensitivity, blah blah blah. And then we got a lot of it in 8, and then 9 is like we got lore, but the lore was just like not connected to the previous that was set up. It was just like, oh, so we're going this other direction. Okay, got it. And that's what kind of hurt my feelings about
Mhm.
it went so surface level and they simplified it way too much. It was just kind of like, man, there's a deeper like Luke was hitting on something deep when he was like, yo, we did it wrong. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like we were this is not the way it was supposed to be. He was hitting on some deep stuff. And then 9 just came in and it was like, oh no, you just have to call in your ancestors. That's it. And I don't even want to dig that, but at the same time, I was like, that was it.
Um,
Like,
Cameron, I don't know if a Windu series is happening. I hope it does because I love Windu. But John, I absolutely agree.
gotcha.
Yeah, I do think they copped out on it. But then again, there's still things I love about it. And I think if they were going to go in that direction, then you need to go all the way in that direction. Like when she picks up those lightsabers and says, "I'm a Jedi," why do I not have a row of all the fucking Jedi back there behind her in their spirit forms, helping her? Who cares if somebody else did it or whatnot? If you're going to go that route, then you need to go all the way, man. Like I need that.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah. I 100% agree. I honestly, it was just too much movie politics playing into it.
Hmm.
I call it movie politics because it was like it was so 9 was so obviously a response to fans. It was so obvious. They were just like, okay, let's make everybody as happy as possible. Like everybody that we can make happy, let's make it as happy as we can. Let's put a Rey and Kylo Ren kiss so that the people who want them to be together can be happy, even though he just died. Let's put the Knights of Ren in there just so we can throw them in there for no like not even like okay. Let's retcon some of the stuff they did with Luke so we can make it more palatable. I don't know. It was just a lot of like, let's just make people happy, you know.
Alyssa says, also, I have a question. If this character has the serpent, the
Mhm.
representation of a snake is since the representation of a snake is since it sheds its skin. They symbolize transformation, rebirth, immortality, healing, and creative life force. Does the character have some
Oh,
of these representations in her backstory?
very
Ooh!
good question.
Hey, that right there is from an up and coming creator in that OK house
No,
right
no,
there.
no. Very good question. So here's the thing. When I'm writing and thinking of names and stuff like that, I'm very big on symbolism, right? So I did not think of her backstory. it was not thought of in the way of shedding a snake skin and being reborn. That is an excellent thing. And the good thing about this is that we're still, like details are of these characters are still being fashioned. You know what I mean? So that's where we can obviously some of this stuff can be worked into the story as far as symbolism. But in terms of the way I think of the way a snake looks and the way people think of a snake and its serpentine nature, kind of like, the silent stalking
Oh
what's the
shoot.
other word? Yeah.
Okay. Hold up though. So with the whole
Okay.
snake thing,
Yeah.
why don't we give her like scales, like her
She does.
tattoos
Yeah, yeah.
come alive, and like when if there's like maybe there's a moment where she has to do like a really long shot, she has to aim and build it up,
Mhm.
power herself up, but she can also her tattoo comes alive and put scales on her body so she can take a little bit of damage to allow herself time to get the shot off.
Oh, some damage reduction in there. Okay,
Hmm.
okay. Defense plus 10. I got you. No, no, I dig that. Yeah, and we didn't go over the tattoos in great detail yet. That's more in the notes. I figured that's like because I remember you mentioned the tattoos were one of the hardest parts of these characters.
Hmm.
So I figured that would be something we add on in post, kind of.
Yeah,
But yeah, she for sure has a snake tattoo on her arm and kind of going down her arm, like wrapping around her arm. How we add that in again, that could be something in post, some details we add, figure out later.
that's
But
why I like doing this stuff live because in my head, um, her snake tattoo goes all around her whole like the entirety of her whole body.
oh,
But we
yeah,
don't
I
see
kind of
all
dig
that.
that.
Like on the
Yeah,
opening in her back when she parts her hair or whatever, you just
right.
see the coils. It just being all coiled, and her
Oh,
arm is all
I
coiled.
dig that. I dig that.
Um,
Yep.
and then like in a moment, if she takes a critical injury, she can shed that skin to heal herself.
Word,
But
word.
like she's down for like a week after she does something like that or whatnot.
Right,
And it's
right.
not something like she can do like over and over again. Like there's a limit, or the more she
Yeah,
does it, the longer it takes to heal from it until it just stops working.
right. And that is the thing. So there are different aspects that aren't they're not all defined yet. But like each of the sageless or beasts that she gets that she acquires in her hunts, she does get some of their abilities. Like for example, when she after she gets the dragon, she gets like a kind of a dragon sight. That's one of the things that she gets is a dragon sight, which
Hmm.
allows her to basically see at night, kind of thing, like a night vision type of deal. In addition to kind of a unlimited, not flight, but like a limited, like kind of like a float. Like when you jump, you can't fly, but she can more or less glide down from a high distance. But it, but
Right.
it, but it, but in but yeah, back to the serpent question about the shedding of the skin. So there's not anything in particular in her backstory that talks specifically about the shedding of the skin, but her personality is somewhat wrapped into the people think that she has a serpentine nature because she's quiet, but she does not have. She's actually more uh compassionate than you would think. You know what I mean? But her outlook initially, because she's quiet and elusive and whatnot, kind of has that feel. But the snake skin thing is definitely something to consider because there are aspects of these characters' backstories that are still getting fleshed out. Like I know, like the broad strokes of her backstory is how she first acquires what she needs to acquire, blah blah. There are different things that she deals with, like life crises that she deals with. I mean, those even that I already have written out can represent different things that she has to overcome, and she becomes a different or better person because of it. But yeah,
Mhm.
that's definitely something insightful to think about. I dig that. Thanks, Elisa. You're gonna be like co-editor or something.
What up, Ren McKenzie? Oh yeah, she's killing it over on her book right now. And we're gonna talk a little bit about that on FSK Day, which
Word,
is
word.
fastly approaching.
What's up, Ren? Oh yeah, I'm excited about FSK Day. That's gonna be dope, dog. I'm hyped.
What's up, Kenzie? Yeah, I'm actually gonna announce another panel here tonight before we get off of here.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I'm digging this design. This is looking dope.
This is why I like doing it live. It doesn't work all the time, but
Mhm.
um, I think we're getting a really good design out of this.
You know, one thing I'm thinking of, and this is not like a solidified thing or anything that we have to make edits on right now, but her hair, I like how it's a long, like it's a long, like it's long, like all the way to the ground type
Hmm.
of thing. I was thinking about again the bracket situation, and I wonder if she had like brackets that are going at different points. Uh, what am I trying to say? Like brackets that are at different parts of her hair.
Hmm.
Um, as it goes down, like maybe one that's up at the top, another that's like maybe in the middle, and another that's at the bottom, like where you can see.
Uh-huh.
Um, and of course, we can't even see her back right here, but yeah, that it would be like it could possibly be that sort of a thing too.
Yeah.
That's something to think about or consider. But I mean, I dig that. The long hair is dope, flying through the trees, hair flowing behind her back.
That's what I'm saying. Like I see her being like she's freaking assassin, like, but on the
Mhm.
move, on the go. She's hard to catch and pin down.
Right, right.
But like she's got these super moves that like I mean not something she can keep like constantly do or something. Something she's got to
Mhm,
build up. In order to do that, she can put a little of her energy towards her making her tattoo come out and
mhm.
give her armor skin. But even that has obviously that has a durability. It's not unstoppable.
Right, right. Of course, of
Like
course.
something might still get through, but it won't
Mhm.
jar her shot or it won't take her down and give her enough time to get
Right,
a shot off.
right. Exactly. Yeah, I dig that. I like. So yeah, I didn't think about the idea of the scale kind of defense mechanism. That's actually a pretty good idea
Man, I
because
literally just thought of that just because I was watching Naruto stuff before um we got on here. And then what Alyssa said, and then it all kind of clicked. It's like, oh
Mhm,
yeah, that would be kind of cool. Like really making her tattoo because we already said the tattoos have powers and they can charge up and do stuff like that. But like
mhm.
thinking of some real cool ways these tattoos can be effective into their way of life, and then it
Uh-huh,
also gives everybody different fighting styles too.
uh-huh. And she would have like it also would depend on which companion she has summoned at the time because if say she has a snake summoned at the time, then she wouldn't be able to use the scale, for example,
Hmm.
because the snake is already summoned. So where she would usually be drawing that power from would basically not be there at that point
At
in
that
time.
moment,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I'm wondering if the snake's head should come out on her arm and that almost be even if the snake I'm thinking about like the designs, not like a cobra, but the designs on the back of a snake's head
hmm
or on their skin in general. And if the snake, I know he's like wrapping it around her body, but if it also coiled down her arm and the head
oh
ends
yeah,
up
no,
being on the back of her hand, yeah.
absolutely agree. Yeah,
And
like
then
if we're saying the
when she,
arm generates that
yeah,
arrow, yeah,
the
so the
arrow,
head needs to be there.
right? Because she has an arrow of, well, she doesn't have the fire one. Yeah, well, she will in the course of the story. She will have a fire based arrow, a lightning based arrow, a crystal based arrow. And some of these powers are coming from the essence of the earth. Spirit of the Earth, rather, is the official name for the story. And a what's the other one? There was a look at my notes. I keep my notes up for this stuff. Um, or is that in a different note?
And like
I think it's in a
I
different
think
note.
these tags should be something too, some type of summoning that she can do.
Mhm. Well, she does have to summon the. She does have to summon the stage list. So, hmm. That's something to think about. That's something to think, and that's what's crazy good about like having a character design to work with is you can actually draw from the character. You can draw story elements from the look of the character. You know. and there's even more like for example the so I do know some history on the hat, but the the tags that are on the headdress rather than hat. But the yeah, like stuff like that. Those are things that research wise would be and I'll be diving into important elements right there. Oh snap! Look at that bow. That is a beast. That is like a legendary level weapon bow.
That's what I figured she'd have, man. She out here.
That's like that weapon that you spend like 100 hours grinding, killing these things in Final Fantasy 10 or something.
Right. No, absolutely.
At least it said if you were to do a tattoo design of the snake's head on the arm, you can move the head on the snake to the back of her hand by her thumb and index finger. That way, she opens her hand. It looks like the snake's mouth is opening and closing. Yeah, that thought that I was just saying was exactly what I was thinking. Like, like almost like the energy is generated
The snake.
from the head. Yeah, exactly.
And, and Alyssa know all about this. Alyssa, you may be spilling too much about your character. Alyssa, she's real big into tattoo designs.
Oh, word.
Tattoos play an important part with her character as well.
That's important.
What's up? How you doing? This is our character. We are actually creating this character live right now, taking a bit of input from some other creators that are online watching the show or not. But this is a story that we're putting together, and we've decided to virtually put that story together live on the show once or twice a month or whatnot, showing you guys where we're at with the characters. And here we are, the last point.
Gotta have that energy. Always take that, man.
So, yeah, man. And there we go.
I'm digging it.
No, listen, you're good. I'm just giving you a hard time. I like the idea. Your input is really good. It shows because Alyssa actually has been having weekly meetings with her editor and writer on their story. So this is a very familiar environment for her.
No, she's got it down. I mean, the idea is the lore, excellent. I mean, like the things she was saying are the kinds of things that my brain travels, the direction that my brain tends to travel. But I mean, she's bringing up points I didn't even think about, like the shedding of the skin to help represent, or the shedding of the skin being represented in backstory is an excellent idea.
Well, I'm gonna get ready to wrap this episode up, and but we are going to announce one of the panels for FSK Day. While I get that together, what I'm going to do is play the commercial for you guys, and then we're going to announce the new. Where is it? Oh, it's on my other one. Hold on. Boom. We're going to play the commercial for you guys to check that out, and we'll be right back. All right, that is FSK Day right there, happening October 17th, starting at 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. We're asking for dollar donations to help us raise money to produce comic books. If you want to give more than that, you're more than welcome to. We'll also have specific swag for that day. You can buy comic books that day if you want. We have art auctions going on, and we have over 44 guests making an appearance at that show. We've already revealed two of the panels that will be happening now. Today, we're going to reveal our next panel. And this one is actually a really cool one. They're all really cool. This one is John Scooter Robinson's on this one. It's Making and Destroying Worlds at 11 a.m. This one will be hosted by J.M. Hunter. We got Greg Burnham on here, Jerry Faye Menard, Ramel Hill, John Scooter, Robert Jeffries, and George Gant on here on this panel, and they're talking about the development of comic book worlds. You know, when we're creating these worlds, how we make them, how we build them up, how we break them down. All that's going to be a very good talk because all of them have stellar material out here, man. All these people are out here, producers and creatives. So this panel will be happening October 17th, and it will be at 11 a.m. And yes, you did hear me right. This mug is going to run from, let me see here. This mug is going to run from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. It's a long one, but I'm not expecting everybody to stay there the whole day. What I'm expecting is that once we unveil the whole schedule, that you pick out and make your schedule for what shows you're going to come back to or whatnot. Because we have tons of content. We have a lot of good stuff going on that show. And whatnot. It's going to be a great day. We're going to have a lot of swag and stuff like there. What's up, Kimberly? How you doing? All right. And so this a group thing between friends and artists. Well, we are friends and we are artists as well, creators. But we both have, like, John has a few different properties that he does. One of them being Scorpio. And I do a couple different books for Short Fuse Media Group and Freestyle Comics, and we've just been wanting to work together for a while. And so with our schedules, this is the best we can do is chipping away at it slowly, putting it online while we're doing it. And this is the second character in our series, and next time we come on here, we're going to work on the third character and the last main character and whatnot. But be sure to check us out, man. What's your social media info, John? Hit them with it.
Word. Yeah, you can find me online at fourthwall.net. That's my website, IVWALL. There you can find my podcast where I talk about writing. It's on a brief hiatus right now because hosting issues. I'm not even going to talk about GoDaddy, but yeah, there's some issues going on. But anyways, I do a writing podcast. I talk to creators about the technical aspects of writing. Also, I run the Green Lantern podcast. So just look up the Green Lantern podcast, and we're in season 0 right now. We're preparing for the currently halted Green Lantern show that's coming out. You can find my comic Scorpio at scorpiocomic.com and follow me at Twitter, also at Fourth Wall. That's at IVWALL. That's pretty much it.
Awesome. And you can check out my comic books at shortfusemediagroup.com. But if you're looking for more content like this, if you enjoyed it and you had a good time today, well, I've learned about this thing called branding. And you can find me with one name across all social media. And that is right up above. Bam, bam, bam. Most Epic Art at Instagram, Twitter, Patreon, TikTok, Facebook, and Twitch, and YouTube as well. Do a lot of content like this all the time. I have a lot of awesome guests on my show, and we get into it. We have a good time. I had a YouTube creator on here about a week ago. Inevitably Dope ID, and that episode was crazy. Check his Instagram out as well. Or no, his TikTok, I'm sorry. But another one's in the book. I want to thank you guys all for joining us and tuning in today. Tomorrow, we're going to have an episode of Good, the Bad, and the Nerdy, and we're going to have a good time. And I want to thank all of you for tuning in this week. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. And next week, I got a few more creators coming back up here, and we're going to do all this again and have a good time. Thank you so much, everybody. I will check you guys later. And all the episodes are up on YouTube. For any newcomers that want to go check them out, I got episodes on Twitch, and I got all the episodes up on my YouTube channel as well. Good night, everybody.